So in today's lesson, we're going to compare algebraic expressions and equations. Okay? So when the question is saying find an equation or find an algebraic expression, just switch to. So an equation is basically a formula. Okay? Equation comes from the word equal. So you must have an equal sign in that equation. An equation is a sentence. So you solve an equation and it has an equal sign in it. All right? So for example, when I say y equals x plus b, right? Because I have that equal sign right here, I call this an equation. Okay? If you don't have an equal sign and you just have, let's say, mx plus b, right? This is an expression. Okay? There is no equal sign in this. You cannot solve an expression. There's no way you can solve it. There's no equal sign for you to be able to solve it. Okay? You can simplify it, but you can't solve it. So when I say I mean collect like terms. Okay? So for example, if you have 3x squared plus 10x plus 5x squared plus x, right? This is an expression, there is no equal sign. What you can do, you can simplify that by collecting like terms, and you'll have 8x squared plus 11x. Okay? Then you can put the equal sign on the beginning of the sentence. Okay? This is called simplify. Okay? Which means collecting like terms. Okay? Solving, on the other hand, you're actually solving for something. You're finding the value of the letter. Okay? Let's look at an example. So the first one says 10 is 5 less than a number. What is this trying to tell me? Well, like if I want to translate this into math, what would that be? 10 is
50.
5 less than a number. How will I write that? I know you already solved for the number, but how would I write that as a sentence? 10
10 plus 5 equals.
is means equal. Okay? 5 less than a number. So the number, which is you want to call it whatever you want to call it, okay? Minus minus 5. Okay? 10 is 5 less than a number. This is when you come to include English in math, and it becomes ugly. Okay? Now, how would that be written? A number less than 5. A number less than 5.
Would it be n equals like another letter minus 5?
Can I have an equal sign in the expression? So a number less than 5. So number less than 5. So that means 5, take away the number. Okay? I know it doesn't make sense, but we have to get used to the English. Okay, when it comes to math. Okay? These are the words that you have to look at. Less means subtraction, right? Less, minus, subtraction. Okay, these all mean the same thing. They mean the minus sign. Okay, if you have more than add, sum, increase, all of this means addition. Okay, you're adding. Okay, it depends on what you have in the sentence. Is, or the word equal, it means you put an equal sign. Okay, is or equal, you put an equal sign. Okay, so let's look at this question. 5 more than a number is 7.
N plus 5 is equal to 7.
Sorry?
N plus 5 is equal to 7.
That's right. 5 more than a number, right? So the number plus 5 means equal to 7. Hmm? 5 less than a number, what do you think that is?
N minus 5.
And minus. Okay? 5 less than a number. So this is the same thing as this, but the difference here is you have is 10, but in this case you don't have that equal to 10 part. Okay? I want you to go back to yesterday's homework. And I want you to let's look at question number 4. Okay, question number 4 says, increase the sum of -3 and 5 by 6. What does that mean? Increase the sum of -3 and 6 and 5 by 6. I'll come back to this. Increase the sum. Yeah.
-3 plus 5 plus 6.
That's right. So the sum of -3 and 5, this means -3 plus 5, right? Increase it by 6, that means you're going to have to add 6 to it. Okay? So increase the sum of -3 plus 5 by 6. Does this make sense? Increase means add, right? Add 6 to the sum. Sum means add again of -3 and 5. Question number 5 says divide the sum. Divide the sum of 7 and -16 by -3. So what would that be? So I have the sum of 7 and -16. How do I write that? Sum means what?
Addition.
Addition. So the sum of 7 and negative 16, right? So I'm adding 7 and negative 16. And I have to divide that by
3.
negative 3.
And
Yes? How many of you are okay with what I'm just doing on the board? 2?
It would take me longer than it should.
It just.
I just need practice, that's all.
Okay. You need to read the question a few
Yeah.
times. You need to understand what these words mean, right? Okay? So when they say the sum means the addition, right? When you're adding 7 and negative 16, and then you're dividing it by negative 3. Okay? I want you guys to look at these questions and try to do them. Alright? You should have done them yesterday, but if you haven't done them, go back and look at them. Now we have looked at some of these expressions. I'm gonna go back here. Okay. So let's solve for this question right here. For example, number 1, let's solve for it. So I have 10 equals to n minus 5. So if I want to solve for n, what do I have to do? We did that earlier. I want to isolate for n. Okay? In this case, it's an n, not an x. If I want to isolate for n, what do I have to do? Ten is on one side of the equality, so I have to bring this over. When I bring it over the bridge, what happens to it?
19.
It becomes a
19.
yeah, so it
Become
becomes a
plus.
positive, right? Didn't we talk about this? No?
Plus.
We haven't talked about this in this class, maybe with my 11Cs. Okay, so it's called opposite operation. We're gonna do a whole lesson on this, okay? Called opposite operation, where we have to bring one thing to the other side. So because this is a negative 5, if I bring it over, it becomes a plus 5. So I have 10 plus 5, which is 15. So my n is 15. Okay? What's the opposite operation of addition?
What's the opposite of operation of addition?
What's the opposite of addition? Yeah.
Subtraction.
Subtraction. What's the opposite of subtraction?
Division.
Opposite of subtraction. Addition. Right? What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. What's the opposite of division? Right? So when you bridge something, so you're bridging a negative 5 over an equal sign. You're moving it from this side to this side. It changes from a negative to a positive. We call that opposite operation. Okay?
Are the questions going to be hard enough that you can't figure it out, in your head?
Not right now. Well, yeah.
Well,
That's why
so
we
you're
need
going to have to do that.
We were gonna have to do that. Right now it's easy. You take 15 minus 5 is 10, so you know the answer. But the question won't be as simple as that.
Okay.
Okay? Let's look at the second example. If I want to isolate for n, so I have n plus 5 equals to 7. So what thing I have to move to the other side?
Plus 5.
The 5, right? Because the goal is to leave the letter by itself. Okay? So you want to leave n by itself. Now you have to move that plus 5 over. Since it's positive, what's the opposite of positive? Subtraction. So it'll be n equals 7 subtract 5, which is 2. Are we okay with that? We're going to do a lot more examples in the next unit, and it's going to be a whole unit. Okay? Now, when we have expressions, we can't do that. We can't move things around because we don't have that equal sign. So let's look at the first example. So we have 5 take away n. Okay? There's nothing I can do with this. Unless I tell you n is 2. What would that expression equal to? If I say let n equals 2, what do you do? That's right. So you're replacing the n with its value. So that would equal to 5 minus 2, which is equal to 3. Okay? But in this case, I'm telling you to let this variable equal to this number. Okay? We call this substitution. You're substituting the value of n with its value. So if n equals to 1, evaluate n minus 5. What do you do? N is 1, and I'm asking you evaluate n minus 5. So what do you do? 1 minus 5. You have to replace. You see this, right? N is 1, so you have to replace that n with this value. Because I am telling you n is 1. Okay? So that becomes 1 take away 5, which is negative 4. Do you guys understand that? So the difference is, in this one, I am asking you to replace the value of the letter with a number. The equation, on the other hand, you're solving for that letter, because you can move things around. Okay? Let's look at this. If x equals 2 and y equals 3, evaluate these expressions. So what are they telling you to do?
Substituting the values, etc.
That's right. So instead of x, what do I put? 2. Instead of y, what do I put?
X is equal
Which
to
is what?
Y is equal to 3.
Y equals 3. So instead of x, I'm going to replace it with a 2. And instead of y, I'm going to replace it with a 3. Because that's what they're telling me to do. So this is going to equal 2 times 2 plus 3. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3. How about the next one?
32 squared minus 3.
Yeah? Bad math. What do I do? What do I do first?
3 times 2.
The exponent. No, the exponent. Yeah? Because 2 squared is before multiplication. What's 2 squared? 4. 4 times 3? 12. Take away 3? Okay? See where the order of operation is very important, because if, let's say, we did 3 times 2 first, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 squared is 36. 36 minus 3 is 33. It's not the same answer, right? So the operation is very, very important. I want you to try to do the next one. Try the next one.